Hey everyone, I'd like to offer you an opportunity for extra credit that some of you might want to take advantage of. I just want you to know that this is optional, and any points that you receive from this would be above and beyond the 100%. So if you're at a place where you'd like to bump your grade up to another level, this might be something that you'd like to take advantage of. This opportunity is to do an online museum visit, and I'll be telling you 4 different museums that have work that's really applicable. And here's what you do. You'll visit and do your research, and sometimes there's videos to watch. Sometimes you can actually go through the galleries and see things. There's all kinds of things that these museums are offering online. So then what you'll do is compose a brief description, and at least 250 words, but not more than 500. I mean, if you're a person that likes to write, don't go over 500, please. Keep it brief. But 250 is just fine. All right. And what you'll include is a description of the museum that you visit in general, like where is it, and what is it, and what do they tend to show? Secondly, you'll find images of 3 specific pieces that apply to one of the units that we've been studying this semester. And you will provide not only an image of each of those, but also a brief analysis of the specific work and why it applies to one of the units. And the units, of course, are Wabi-Sabi and the Ancient Mediterranean and California Funk and Pre-Columbian, right? So that's what you'll do, is you'll give brief description, and then you'll also provide images and analysis of 3 specific artworks relevant to the units. And then you'll discuss each of the artworks in terms of how it applies to the formal principles. Like, as you've described this piece, you're going to talk about, so if it's a Zen tea mug, maybe you'll talk about its art elements, line, value, color, shape, whatever, or its organizing variables, or scale, context, of it, and its meaning, how that meaning applies to the unit. You get it, right? One of my best friends is a first grade teacher, and she's always saying to her students, use your words. And she says that to me sometimes too. But anyways, I think the point of the formalism deal that we've been going over is for us to have a vocabulary that we can talk about art in. So I'd hope that you would use that in this brief summary. Okay, so that's what you will do. And so you would post by the end of by the deadline your 250 to 500 page summary of your visit. Okay, here's some museums that I think are really fun and easy that you can visit online. One's the Asian Art Museum, and it is, I think, my favorite museum in the world, but it is perfect for finding things that are relevant to the Wabi-Sabi unit. There's things by Soji Hamada there. When I was there, they had Bernard Leach pieces too, because he's so closely aligned. And they also have, travel or visiting exhibitions pretty routinely. So you might want to have a visit for that and see if that's something you'd like to do. The Crocker Museum, which is in Sacramento, just had an amazingly huge facelift. I don't know, not recently. Now it's been like quite a few years, 5 or 6 years. But it's a world-class museum, and they're right now having an exhibition on Wayne Thiebaud, who's part of our funk unit. And literally, you can go through every room and you can see every piece in the exhibit. You can read every description. It's really well done as far as, museums in the age of COVID, right? But you can go through and see that whole exhibition. And you could simply take screenshots and, frame them up of 3 of his pieces. That's fine. Doesn't need to be 3 different areas of study. So you can find 3 pieces, but you need to describe each of those, right? So you need to go and research. But Wayne is, what a guy, right? He just turned 100. Still kicking, still making art. Wow. Anyways, and this show is kind of a celebration of his 100th year living. All right, so that's the Crocker. So the Asian, the Crocker. Thirdly, the DeYoung Museum. They have this great exhibition right now on Frida Kahlo. And that would be directly applicable to our pre-Columbian unit, and especially since so much of her work was about her culture, and especially Dia de los Muertos. And they also have a whole section there on Art of the Americas. So if you want to see some really cool pieces on Mayan art or, Moche art, it's there in the De Young. So that's available too. So the Asian, Crocker, the De Young. Last, the Legion of Honor, which is way up on the hill overlooking the bay, right? It's also, it has a great collection of classical Greek art. I've always thought it was a little stiff, that museum. But I've always liked to look at their pottery. And I just went and looked again, and I was able to segue to some really cool Greek urns and things like that. So that might be another thing. But if you find one, you're going to perhaps have to do a little more research about, like, why is that piece so cool and how does it apply? All right. So you get it. Pretty simple assignment. It's worth 30 points, right? And so that can really boost you to your goal, I hope. If you have any questions, let me know about doing this. Just email me, about how to write it up or whatever. But simply submit it as a Word document with your 250, but no more than 500 words. Every now and then, I'm saying that every now and then, I've had people turn in 10-page papers. I'm like, really? It's like I asked for 250 words, so keep it brief and be succinct. And I think you can say a lot in 250 words, right? Okay. All right. I think that's about it for now. And there was something else I wanted to say. Anyways, if you have, that's it. Now I'm remembering. I just told you 4 museums. But if you find another museum, like maybe you want to go visit the museum in Crete and go look at all that stuff, right? Or you want to go to the Archaeological Museum in Athens, or, you think of a subject and you really want to go find a museum much more pointed, pitch it to me, right? Don't just do it and turn it in, but just write me an email and say, hey, I found this museum and it applies to this unit. Can I do that instead? And I'll just have a look at it, and 99 times out of 100, I'd get back and say, cool, go do it, right? Just if you want to pick something else, that's fine. Just let me know. All right, that's it for your extra credit option for this week. And this applies all the way to the end of the semester till, I think, December. During that last week, you have to get it in before grades. I think like the 10th or something like that is the cutoff. After that, no more. Okay, hope you're well. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.